Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So we're going to talk about the OnePlus 7T after 7 days. Let's get into this video. So some things you should consider when purchasing a smartphone by today's standards is price. And this phone right here comes in at a hefty price tag of $600. However, it is punching way above its weight class when it comes to price versus what you're getting compared to other flagships on the market. This one actually has specs that some flagships don't even have, and it still costs $400 less or so, or at least $400 less. So the OnePlus 7T has been one of my favorites actually lately, using it alongside the Pixel 4 XL. I've already compared this phone with the Pixel 4 XL versus it, and it's kind of a really almost balanced, almost, if you will. But this phone definitely beat the Pixel 4 XL in price and battery. So price is something that most people start with, but that shouldn't be your only deciding factor. You should definitely be looking at battery life and phone calls. And the battery life on the OnePlus 7T for me has been about 2 days with about 7 hours of screen on time. So I know you're going to say, well, Jay, you don't really use it much. And you're absolutely right. I've been using it probably about 3 hours a day. And I'm at 3 hours right now with 17 hours off the charge with 44% left. So I'm able to go 2 days, and it's not because I'm using multiple phones. Both phones are getting the same battery life that they've gotten, since I've been using them. The Pixel 4 XL is getting about between 5 and 7. And when I push this one hard through the day, though, it pushes well past 7. It goes up to 9 in about 24 hours, or a little over 24 hours. You can go ahead and push up 9 hours of screen on time. Some people can probably get more than that, but battery life depends on you and what you're doing with your phone. And this phone gets a lot of phone calls and a lot of notifications. So, 7 hours of screen on time with 2 days of use is fantastic to me, because the phone is there when I need it, and then I don't have to charge every day. And that's something that I actually like, opposed to several other phones. Even the Pixel 4 XL, I kind of have to charge that one within a 2-day period, or within 28 hours or so. The Pixel needs to be on the charger. Let's just go and say 24. The Pixel should be charged. But this phone right here definitely does not need to be charged within a 24-hour time frame. And if you did have to charge it in that 24-hour time frame, you probably would have about 9 or more screen on time hours for the battery. So another thing that should be important to you is voice calls. Now, a lot of these phones don't have Wi-Fi calling, but if you're on T-Mobile and you put your T-Mobile SIM card in here, you'll get Wi-Fi calling in most situations. HD calls is also something that's important to me. When I talk to somebody, I want the call to sound like this, just they're sitting next to me. And that's pretty much how it's been with this device because of the HD calling. It sounds absolutely fantastic. So a week with this, it's been a little over a week, but I wanted to use 7 because it's a 7T, But the phone calls being placed with this phone, I don't have any network issues, nothing. It's just flowing along perfectly fine with no issues, no drop calls or anything. Text messages, emails, all the normal things that people might get on their phone. This phone does it very, very well. So this phone has a 6.55 inch fluid AMOLED 90 hertz display. It's actually really, really smooth and fluid, no pun intended. But it's actually a fast phone. Just overall, this is a really fast phone. It has 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. And as a user, as a consumer, I would suggest that you don't buy a phone that has less than 128 gigs of storage unless it has an SD card. And that's just a recommendation. You can do what you want to do, but in most cases, you can probably find phones that are 128 gigs that cost less than phones that are 64 gigs. So just do your research and whatever you're looking for. But this phone does not have an SD card, but it does in fact have 128 gigs of storage. And it's been more than enough for me. I have about 88 gigs left. Out of the box, I think out of that 128, I think it only gives you about 118 or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I have about 80 gigs, or between 80 and 90 gigs available on the phone. And this is going to be more than enough for me because I do a lot of cloud things, and also delete apps or photos and things from the phone after I'm done with them. After I post them to social media or whatever I'm doing with it, they're gone. If I'm editing or something like that and I need to get this footage off, they're gone. I don't really feel the need to keep them on the device. But overall, your pictures of your family and things like that, your children or your wife or your husband, whatever you're doing, you'll want to keep it on the phone. So that's a plus for you. You'll have enough storage. 128 gigs is more than enough storage. So when you're watching media content on this device, you will be able to enjoy stereo speakers because it has the speakers at the top and the bottom, and they are extremely loud. It's a very loud phone, and not just loud, it's clear. I really like it. Not a lot of bass and tone, but it's still very loud, very enjoyable when listening to music. I personally listen to phones, even though I have waterproof speakers in the bathroom, I tend to put my phone down and crank the volume up with this. They have stereo speakers are really good sound, and I just play the music that way. But some people don't do that. Some people do that. But it's up to you how you want to do it. All I can tell you is that this phone right here has great speakers. I mean, ridiculous. They're really good. You shouldn't have a problem with them at all. Watching media content will be even better for you because you get a stereo sound and beautiful quality come from the screen because it's an OLED display. So you get the pitch blacks and you get the colors are very punchy and vibrant. It's really, really nice. You should feel good about that. Now, feel in hand, this phone feels really good in the hand. It's a narrow phone. It's 20x9. So it's going to be a little bit more narrow than some other phones, but that plays into your favor because it's easier to hold. Even though this has a big screen, this is much easier to hold than a lot of devices out there with the same size screen because they might be a little too wide or they just might be too tall. You can't see it, but it actually has a little cutout at the top for the camera on the front. But I'm using this nice wallpaper that I always use. To get this wallpaper, people always ask about the wallpapers that I use. Just look on my Twitter and scroll through the media and you'll find these wallpapers that I'm using. You can download them to your device. But the screen is beautiful. Again, going back to comfort, this has a rounded back, and so it'll fall in your hand. It'll just rest in your hand, and it feels really good. Now the downside to that is it's kind of slippery on the back. So I do have a skin coming for that, and I will post that video soon, next week or whenever, depending on when you're watching this out. But I do have a skin coming for it, so that'll be exciting for me because I don't like to wear my phones with cases. But the case that came with the device, I highly suggest that you use it because it's actually a fantastic case. I mean, I tell you no lies, that case is absolutely great. So the phone is a little slippery, so that's a downside. For me, it is. Some of you guys might not say it's slippery, but I think it's kind of slippery. So I frequently find myself putting that case on because I just don't trust myself yet. But as you can see now, I'm wearing it without a case and I've had it off because I just prefer to feel the phone itself. I want to feel the phone in my hand. I don't want any extra bulk when I don't have to. Now, when I leave the house, obviously I have a case on the device. I did order some tempered glass because I misspoke on something, I believe, and I owe you guys an apology for that. I told you that the T-Mobile version actually has a screen protector on it, and it does not, because I've seen an unlocked version, and they clearly have a screen protector on it. These do not. So I've ordered some tempered glass, $3 on eBay. I always try the affordable route first. That's been working for me. The tempered glass that I bought on my Pixel was $3, and it's fantastic. It's absolutely great. It works perfectly fine. So I've got some $3 tempered glass coming for this one. And a skin, so that should set me up so I don't have to wear a case. But this phone, if you're a person who likes to use 3.5mm headphone jacks, you're missing out with this one. It does not have a 3.5mm headphone jack built in, and you'll have to use Type-C, Bluetooth, or a little dongle to get it to listen to your favorite music with your favorite headphones. Now, the cameras is something that's important to people. This has a different setup on the back, and this has actually grown on me. It's not the most attractive, but it's not bad. And this camera bump right here with the glass is really smooth. I don't really have an issue with it because I don't look at the back of the phone too much. But what's important is when I hold it up to take a photo, that's important. And how well does it do? Well, I've already done a video with low light, and I've posted a lot of photos on social media, and it's definitely an upgrade from previous years of the OnePlus. I think this phone does really good with photos and video, especially low light. The 4K at 60 is really nice. The wide angle is really nice. The standard wide angle lens is really nice. And it has this macro shot where you can get really close to things. That is beautiful. It's just a really good. But when I compared it against some other phones, sometimes the colors are a little off in this setting for some reason. But outside in nighttime and regular daytime photos, the colors, the phone can handle it. But in certain light situations, it doesn't do very well. It tends to probably overexpose, or it just pushes out inaccurate colors. And I found that very shocking when I was comparing it against the other phone, because this phone actually does very well when it comes to cameras. I'm actually extremely impressed with the cameras. Just kind of cleaning it off. Even though it has this color blue, it does come in a gray color, but it seems like this is just fingerprints regardless. So I'm definitely going to hurry up and get that skin on there. But the cameras overall, you will be impressed for what you do on social media, or you record your family, or just, you want to hook this phone up to your TV. I think you can do HDMI out with Type-C. I could try that for you in another video. But all in all, folks, the week that I've had this, a little over a week I've had this phone, I'm impressed. I'm not going to lie to you. I was indifferent about the OnePlus 7T, but I decided to just take my own advice and buy it. But I can definitely tell you that the fast facial recognition, the in-screen fingerprint reader is blazing fast. No issues at all with this device. I mean, it even has an IP rating, and OnePlus doesn't officially give that because they don't want to pay for it. So, I mean, these are all things that have already been confirmed. So it has an IP rating. It doesn't have wireless charging, but I don't use wireless charging, so I'm okay with that. But I like this phone a lot. And it is very impressive in my opinion, and I can definitely recommend this over several Android phones if you're wanting the best bang for your buck, and you're in the U.S. and you're on T-Mobile, or you're on a carrier or something like that. I believe this is on all carriers now. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But I know that the unlocked models, they pretty much, I think they work with all carriers. So it's something you should consider if you're thinking about grabbing a powerhouse device. This has a Snapdragon 855 Plus. Think of it this way. This is good for another year. The OnePlus 7T, folks, it's an amazing device. I like it a lot. I like it a whole bunch. I'm not going to front. It's up to you to decide what you want to do with your funds. But I'm telling you, the OnePlus 7T is a fantastic device, man. It's fantastic. No sleeping on it. I'm totally impressed. The fact that it doesn't have a headphone jack, that doesn't even bother me anymore. 1 week, 7 days with the 7T has been absolutely amazing to me. It's your man Jay. I'm out.